We're going to talk about responsibility towards water. We're having two tonight's award winners here. Two others will be with you this evening at the award ceremony. I think everybody wants to hear about your stories, about your projects. So maybe, Mr. Pirc, you will be first. Crypto Water is your project, how to develop more transparent way to identify bottled water origin. Can you explain us your project?
Thank you very much. Dear Bled Water Festival, thank you for having me. I had this idea in 2017, just to give you a little background on my own. I'm like in four and a half years in the blockchain industry. So I'm looking, developing, contributing to the Bitcoin and blockchain ecosystem for about half a decade now. So then at some point in my head, this idea came along because after all, Bitcoin technology is basically timestamps. But the key factor here is it's in immutable timestamps. So that means essentially anything you do, any actions you take, any transactions you do on public blockchains are sealed in time forever. So that part is the immutability. So once something happens, it's there forever and everybody can see it. Then the water came in. Everyone here buys a bottle of water once, twice, many times per day. And you can examine the packaging. It's all, declaration is there, where the water is coming from, what kind of ingredients does it have, how much magnesium and stuff. But this is all based on some level of trust towards the company doing the bottling. Then at some point I also noticed there were some incidents in the water industry where a company that's supposed to be bottling Swiss high quality water from the Alps was actually being sold globally like a Chinese water. So the origin of the water was not from the Swiss Alps. So you're paying the premium price for that water, but it's not the water you're thinking you're buying. So this is something also that came to my mind to address maybe with the usage of technologies. So then this crypto water came into my idea. I'm also the founder of one open source blockchain project. It's not Bitcoin, it's Aquarius coin. Yeah, you can take a wild guess. I'm Aquarius by Zodiac. So that's why the idea came along. And why did I choose to implement in my crypto water project this open source project Aquarius coin? Because if I want to do a transaction to immutably transact something based with water, it's gonna have to be cheap and fast. So if I could essentially use Bitcoin to perform these activities. I will describe them all later on. But it would be very costly because if I want to have an instant timestamp of what time the bottle went into the water went into the bottle, I have to pay like €3.5 for this event to just exist. So that's not acceptable. So I have it here with me. This is not a commercially available water, but this is like a minimal viable product. This is a regular water bottle, and here you see here it's a little QR code. This is essentially called a public key. So this is public knowledge. If I put this bottle now on the table, you can all put up your mobile phones and scan it, and you will get an address. So let's just imagine that this address belongs to the bottle. Okay, so there's no blockchain yet here. So what happens after? When I put the water from the fresh water source, by the way, this water is drinkable. I have a certificate. I'm just not a registered water bottling company yet. Then when I put the bottle into the water into the bottle, I used my own wallet on my mobile phone to send a small transaction equals 1 Aquarius coin to this public, let's say a bank account. And if anybody here wants to check it out, if this transaction exists, they can do it freely without asking anybody. So this is just the part where I timestamped on a public ledger the event that's called the bottling of the water. So there's no innovation there, to be honest, because it could essentially be used with a regular database, but that database has an editor. If that editor edits that files, everybody on the internet will see, oh, it's all good. but in reality, in the background, somebody was manipulating that information. This information here is like now, the event occurrence was on this year's Labor Day, so this was May 1st. Up to date, there were approximately 4,000 transaction blocks, already new transaction blocks, happened on the Aquarius Coin network. So this timestamp of this event is beyond a reasonable doubt, at least to my technical knowledge, immutable, so you can't edit it. There's not a single person on the planet that can just open some notepad and edit this entry. So it's there. But there are still many problems that I need to solve into the future. Because right now, you all need to trust that the water inside this bottle is still that same water that I timestamped on this ledger. So as you see, it's a regular cap. It's a wooden pluta, as in Slovenian. So if I just unplug it, pour this water in, who will know? So this is also one of the challenges I will have to face in the future. I have approximately 3 different approaches how to solve this problem. So the second problem would be to solve the immutability or transparency, so to speak, of the caps. This is also, NFC technology can easily achieve this. But we will see some in the future. I'm exploring different options, like I said. So what's unique about this bottle, besides the fact that you can verify the exact time exact Unix time, it's called computer time, when the bottle was put inside. So this is the public, the public part. So this is available to everybody here. So everybody can read it, scan it, and verify. But this here is a little side note here. And this is where the private key is hidden. So for those of you that know how Bitcoin and blockchain technologies work, you will understand that this is essentially an internet of safes. So the safes are all public. Everybody can look into all these safes and see the content inside, how much Bitcoins, how much money, how much assets are inside the vaults. But only the people that have the private keys, the pins or the passwords, if you want to call them like that, can open these safes and move that content. So there are 2 ways I could approach, and actually this is not the first bottle water. The first one I did, this didn't have this private key to the safe. So the only thing that it's visible on the bottle is the public key. But the keys to unlock this vault were destroyed. Let's say I burned them with a match. But then I said, why would I be destroying an internet currency that has value on its own? Sure, it will be some sort of a deflationary effect on the currency itself. But at the same time, I said, why not this? I'm trying to do some kind of a social company here that will also maybe generate some revenue and put that revenue also in water sustainability projects by other people at other companies. And I said, why not offer something to the people as well? So besides, of course, fresh water with immutable proof of the time and space and origin and stuff like that. So I decided to attach the private key to these public headers along with the bottle. So if I were to give this bottle right now to any one of you, you have 2 choices then. You can save it because it's a collectible, you can't drink it. The water is live, it's not filtered. This is directly from the Slovenian fresh water source. You can drink it, you can save it, but still, you can unbox this one, scan it, and you will get like approximately 60 cents worth of Aquarius coin. What you do with that coin, it's not my problem anymore. You can hold it, you can sell it, or you can reuse it to get yourself some extra water. So these are actually, so now my colleague says, the moderator said that there's supposed to be about transparency as well. So this is just a minimal viable product for me. The next stages will be to implement a little prototype that will include in each transaction, so all the bottles will have a public key. This will not change. But I want to attach more data to this information and have it as immutable as possible. So I mean tamper resistant to the point the technology allows us to. So the first thing I would add to the information is GPS data. So that means you're getting information where exactly was this water bottled. It could be a plant, it could be a freshwater source, it could be a river, so as I'm concerned. So next thing would be, of course, to add some telemetry data from the water itself. we all know the industry has evolved. We have essentially real-time water analyzers that can give us, in approximately 5 seconds or so, quite a lot of information about the water content. And I can package that information. I can do it per water, or we can try it per gallon, per 1,000 gallons, and put that information on the public ledger as well. So just imagine now, you go to the store, you grab your telephone. We are now 3 years in the future, so if everything goes well. Just imagine going to the store, tapping your phone on a bottle, and that bottle gives you real-time information that can be verified when you come home or in the store of where the water is coming from, what's the content, and the exact time to the second when that water was put into the bottle. I'm researching a lot right now, and I found out that the world is filled with people that understand water very, very much more than just the average consumer. The water is essentially the source of all life in existence in the universe. So that makes, if I connect now the stars to the water, we can imagine that there's energy flowing around the space and impacting everything we do in life, and that includes the water, which is essentially alive normally. So I found let's say a niche, if I want to call it, because people would actually be interested in getting, drinking, buying, whatever, water that is actually from that geography region, bottled at a specific time in life. So this may be some additional value to this project of mine, but the key factor is here. It's about transparency. It will also, the regulators will be able to monitor this type of directions. Just imagine having a little database online that's bulletproof, when a regulator can check if the water bottle company is actually filling that amount of water, that's taking the water out of the environment and putting it in the bottle, and they can verify. Nobody needs to report anything anymore because the data is there. You just need to assign a specific signer key, because the bottled water company will have a key of their own, this key what I'm talking about. So if I register my key that I'm using to timestamp all my bottles, I just need the public address. So you can have a immutable database of every bottle that's being bottled. So no problems with taxations, no problems with that, because everything is mutable. But this current technology, this is just a simple way of doing it. How will this evolve? I don't know. But after extensive research, I believe this is the second bottle that has a blockchain timestamp in the world. So I'm sorry, because my keynote was a little highly technical, and I was like flying left and right. But there's so much going on in my mind. You know, I'm trying to develop in my mindset all new approaches that we can use. Oh yeah, the colleague was way ahead of me. So this is another bottle in question. This is actually the Genesis bottle. The Steklarna Hlasnik was kind enough to give me a prototype, so there's a little engraving, I think it's visible. So this was the first bottled water to have a Unix timestamp on a public ledger. Like I said, it doesn't have to be Aquarius coin. I just choose it because it's my ledger. I mean, it's not my ledger. I put it out, you know, but everybody can use it. Because it was cheap. So this timestamp costs, I think, 1/1000 of a penny to do. But like I said, the QR code is on the neck, and this is because it was a prototype. There was also already a problem that I discovered, because the neck is so thin, the QR code goes oval, and it's barely scannable. So that's why the second version has a larger one, so it's easily scannable. And if you may, the second picture. So every transaction that happens on any type of blockchain ledger gets a little thing called hash. So this is a unique timestamp that has it. The second picture. Yeah. It's not a big deal if you're going to see the picture. You see. So you hit the time. March 9th, 4 afternoon. And at the time I took the pictures, you see this number, 2,173 transactions, confirmation. This means that the network, the ledger of Aquarius coin went ahead. It's never stopped. It's moving on. If there's any transactions going on, those are included. So if in the meantime I will be bottled like 100,000 bottles, they will all be somewhere in those transactions. But this block height, specific block height, 1,533,302. This is the block height of the blockchain that includes this transaction hash, what you see in the red. So it's not an address, you see, because the addresses start with A. So the hash is there on the ledger. It represents the mixture combination of keys, timestamps, etc., etc. So this is all verifiable. I think I saw somewhere I have the photo of the QR code of the Genesis block. But like I said, today is not about presentation. Today is about giving you a minimum viable product and to give you an insight what can be done with blockchain technology in the water industry. Thank you for the time, and again, sorry for all the technical jargon. Hopefully some of you understood what I said.
Okay,
thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Maybe you save your questions for Mr. Pearce for later on. Now we're going to move to another interesting project. It's Robert Slavec with us with the project My Water ATM. I mean, things is reading really interesting, producing pure water out of the air. Can you explain us that?
Hi, my name is Robert. I'm coming from startup Zero Carbon. Basically, we are from Slovenia. I know we are a rich water country, but I love to travel, and I was, traveling around, and I noticed that water scarcity is the biggest problem in the world. So we try to figure out how to get the water, where it's none, without single-use plastic bottles. Please, we declared water against single-use plastic bottle. This is number one. So we start investigating, reading a lot, and I came up with the idea, to start producing water out of the air. Why? Because this is natural process, as you know. Water cycle, what they do? Water evaporate, and then when it's cooled down, it's dropped down in the name of rain. We do this in, let me say, a little bit industrial style. We rapid cool air, which is captured, and water drops out. Then we filtered this water with, let me say, 5-stage, that it's really remove every air pollutions. And then on the end, we do the mineralization of the water. End product is really tasteful and sweet water, drinking water. As water sommelier mentioned yesterday, water needs to be without taste, and if it's really good, it contains good minerals, then it's sweet. So we managed to do this water. And why we are doing that? We see the potential, because water scarcity means that water is not distributed in the same as request for the water. So in the some region, which are really scarce of the water, is in Europe. It's very near to us. Actually, it's all Mediterranean, if you think like that. They got poor quality water, actually water from the tap, as Professor mentioned, it's already polluted. It's under the level of pollution, but we got microplastic inside, chloride inside, nitrites, whatever it shouldn't be inside. We pay for that, but we got more than we pay for it. And this is wrong. We should have much better water. But nobody cares about that. Why? We also investigate that. We talk a lot of water producing company in Slovenia. And when we present them this concept, they said, no. Our water is under in the standards. Yes, but why I should get, what I didn't want? Like pesticides. It's inside, but nobody even testing that. We need to remove this. So it's harmful for our life, and we said we need to do something else. we got, some sponsorship from Slovenian Entrepreneur Fund, but we also joined the European Institute of Technology, and Climate Kick agency give us some money. And we, with my co-founder, which is my son, we produce our machines, build it, and then we said, okay, Slovenia is a very rich country, where we can test this? It was hard, really hard, because everybody says, no, we don't need that. We got very good water. I can get it everywhere. I said, really? If I'm walking even in the Bled, where I can get water? Is there any tap? Water is under my legs, but access to the water there is almost none, and this is crucial. So what we are doing? We are buying single plastic bottles, drink it, couple minutes, and just throw it away. This is huge waste of everything. But we are smart, and we find the place in Slovenia where is, let me say, they don't have waters, and these are mountain huts. It's very close to we are coming from Vrhnika, and there is a small mountain, and they used to have a really old mountain hut, and they don't have tap water. And I asked, the guy who was running that, and we can set it there, just for the testing. And we are really scared. When we bring the machine there, I said, oh my God, Slovenians want even to test that. Actually, the next day when we start producing water and, giving opportunity to the users to refill it, they called me and I said, what is wrong? He said, machine stopped working, there is nothing. I said, oh my God, the first day is going wrong. And then we go and just check the tank, and tank was empty. Why? Because everybody says, look, it's interesting, we tested, and your water is tasteless and sweet. What it means is better than it was water fountain, which was 15 meters away. Nobody wanted, because it's got chlorine taste, iron taste, so it's wrong. And we said, okay, that's something. And now we are running our test for 8 months now, and we already, we got some meter inside. We already we done more than 11,000 refills since then. So we remove 11,000 single-use bottles out of the circulation, just with the testing with the Slovenian population. And then I was trying, to say, what we can do more with that, but okay, it's a clever idea, but we need to sell this idea somewhere. And we approached a couple of Slovenian, let me say, tourist cities, which are, most influenced by the tourists. Tourists bring the money, but they bring also, plastic shit. And they, and local municipality needs to reduce this shit, plastic. They need to go, and collect them, and they are spending the money on that. I said, look, there is a solution which we can force people to get refill, but with the premium water. There is no, in our solution, there is no, if you want to get premium or lower quality. No, just premium quality. We don't bargain with that. And there was low or actually no reply from Slovenia. They said, okay, we will test in Europe. I went to some water fair in Zaragoza, which is biggest in Europe. I just presented as what it will be there. And actually it was B2B meetings, and I got a line of 10 companies which were waiting for me there. I was shocked, And then I said, why? And they said, no, why are you doing this? Because we know in Slovenia is a very rich country, water-rich country. I said, yeah, but we are not doing that for Slovenia. We are doing that, solution for the people who need this. And they said, okay, we are from Spain, actually the first one guy was from Canary Islands, the second one is from the Balearic Islands, then they come for the university. And we start working with them, actually, and we got order for our machines now already for the Balearic Islands. It will be used in, actually, as I said, in tourism, but it will be sustainable tourism. Sustainable tourism is one of the biggest growing sector in Europe, especially in the tourism. That means that they want to give zero waste solutions to their customers. And how you can do, because you don't have quality water or none. So this guy who is the first one who was standing there, he said, look, I got a really good agrotourism hotel. It's 500 years old. I'm producing one of the best wine. My olive oil has the OR certificate. But can I really serve, to my customer water producers out of my area? I said, yes, of course, no problem at all. So we got a deal. Then we went to university, we got a deal. Actually, we already got a deal with one of the biggest Slovenian company here. Not to mention, but that's it. And now what we are doing, we now got already market, we got the order, but we got one small problem. Now we need to find the funds for that. And in Slovenia, there is no fund for that, to invest more than 100,000 euros in startups, which is smart startups, which is, we can serve at least Mediterranean, small, let me say, sector, which is sustainable tourism at the start. And eventually we will go further, because now we are already talking with some company in United States, which is doing in nano filtering, which is one of the smartest things, which we can install, in every tap water, whatever, you can reduce, really. Whatever it's inside, we can reduce, but it will be inside H2O plus all minerals, because it's not reducing the minerals. And this is one of the clever solutions which we'll be implementing in the future.
Okay, thank you very much. Maybe any questions, any comments on these two interesting projects from the public? No? No? Yeah.
I have one question about this second project, Zero Carbon. So, if I understand right, this works by the principle of heat pump, yes?
Yes, actually, it is the same system. Actually, it's not new technology. It's used in the heat pump, it's used in tumble dryer, it's air conditioned, but it's different style.
Yeah, so, but you need electricity for that.
Oh yes, you need it.
Okay. So, what about that? Because the heat pumps are very wasteful, like a process to separate the water from the air. What about that? Because you need to put, I don't know, you have calculations how many kilowatts you need to produce 1 liter of water. So then the electricity plants need to produce this electricity, and this is a waste. What about that? What is not better? Why is not better to collect, for example, the water from the rain? Slovenia have a lot of rain, for example, and collect it and store it for some amount of time. For example, just my thoughts.
Okay, thank you for the question. So I will start with the last sentence. You need to know when the rain drops on the ground, it's polluted, period. And it's polluted because my generation is start doing pollution, and this is with the pesticide, whatever it's in the land, it will stay in the land forever. Maybe in 1 million years it will degrade everything, but since then, whatever drops, it's polluted. So that's why you need to capture before it's hit the ground. This is the first. And the second thing is, yes, we do a lot of testing on the energy consumption, and I will let you know, with our prototype, we didn't even think about the energy to be more efficient. We just do the prototype and we are testing. Currently we are using less than 400 watt-hour per 1 liter. Just to calculate in euro cents, it's 1 cent. And now I will tell you how much, let me say, Coca-Cola and Danone invest in 1 plastic bottles. It's 5 megajoules in half liter, or it is 1.4 kilowatt of energy is stored in there. So.
But depends on humidity.
Humidity is the most important. We are not a region which is, let me say, humidity rich, especially during the winter. But as I said, the region which is most scarce out of the water always had humidity, which is Mediterranean region, and other, let me say, everything what is around the equator is the most, they have the most polluted water in the ground and the most water scarcity. It's ridiculous, but all the water is in the air.
Okay, any other? Yeah. Wait.
Thank you. I would like to ask, I'm sure you have a very a clear answer on that, but how do you manage when the air is very much polluted? How do you clean that water up?
Yeah, this is one of the main questions which we're starting with. We are using one of the smartest cleaning solution, which is electrostatic participator, which is removing 95% of air pollution out of the air, PM10, PM2 and nanoparticles. And then we do, as I said, additional 5-stage filtering. We test this, our water, many times with Slovenian National Health Institute, and they've been surprised what we sent to them. We've been fully disclosure what we are doing, and they said, oh, something is missing. I said, yeah, but you need to tell me what is missing. And this is, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other? Otherwise, I will have one question for both of you, maybe to sum up both of your presentations and the title of this. It's responsibility towards water. We've been talking before about individual awareness, individual responsibility. Where did that come from? Why you started to think about such projects, about the responsibility towards water? Was it from the education? Was it, I don't know, through media, through other things? Why?
Well, the main driver for me is because I'm in 25 years in the IT technology business. So I tend to look for solutions towards sustainable development, towards self-sustainability, towards a better future using these type of technologies. Sadly, all the major technologies are developed by the army, whether you like it or not. So that's primary. So it's a yin-yang thing. With new technology comes the bad part, but we also need to research what can we do with that technology to improve it. So for me, the blockchain timestamping was a natural thing to do. So I'm not trying to solve any problems for the world, because I can't. I'm just one guy with a crazy idea to put water on a blockchain. So we did that. So how will this upgrade and serve the humanity or not, I don't know. I've just come to the conclusion that the water industry also needs some more transparency, accountability, traceability, features like that. And of course, these data attributed to these things need to be immutable, so tamper resistant as much as possible in order to have a more sustainable water environment. There are many other projects, ideas that are originating from this crypto water. This crypto water for me is just a little starting point, because I want to finish up the ecosystem as well. So because with water you have fish farming, you have aquaponics and stuff like that. And but this is a whole nother story. Just to level that there's not just water bottling here. It's also water comes, some water goes by. You can use that water to generate food, stuff like that, and to have a little closed system. Maybe at some point even include my colleague's project, because if you have a water environment, you have vapors, maybe use his technology to further advance things. So I'm just trying to do cool stuff. If it will help, I don't know. Hopefully it will.
Thank you. Mr. Slavec.
As I said, I really love, this Mediterranean style or the sea. And whenever you walk down the beach, what you see? Rocks and plastic bottles around. I really, again, need to say, I hate single-use plastic bottles. That's why we start these solutions. As I said, we need to have another source of the water, which is much, much cleaner, or even if we can produce it cleaner. This is our idea, core idea it was, and now we are developing this. And just to mention, that, we use energy, but it's so wasteful to get a plastic bottle, just drink it and throw it away. And as I mentioned, in these islands, they produce too much wind energy, so we don't even ask, if it's green, and it's not. It is green. This is the only energy they even know. I can guarantee you, go to Mallorca or to any Canary Islands. Huge windmills producing only green energy. They already finished with that, And the third thing, what we really want to do is to implement some kind of hydration station in every city centers, plenty of them. So people need to have access to the water. So they can walk around even with the plastic water which already bought it, but they just need to refill it again and again and again and again. But I noticed that a lot of people already, have this refillable bottle. But with that, there is no service. So whatever you do, you need to go or ask, even worse, go to toilet to refill it. Come on, is this really a service? So we think even further, we will do the machines, especially for this company. It will be amazing. It will be no energy consumption, and will be also a first machine which is made out of the wood. It will be Slovenian wood. So it's the first time I told you that. It will be zero energy consumption and refill whatever.
Okay, you have.
Yeah, question, yeah.
Yeah.
Would it be possible to use this technology also in agriculture? Have you thought about it, or is it too complex, or is the amount of water used for drainage system, for example, too big, or?
Actually, if you scale up these filters, you know how it is. You need to have a huge surface. Nano surface is even bigger. So everything depends on the flow of the water through the filters. This is the only, let me say, bottleneck.
Okay. Any other? Otherwise, I'd like to congratulate you both for your projects. Enjoy your evening, and thank you very much to everybody, and welcome back in the afternoon.
Okay, thank you, everybody. If any question, please ask me later. Thank you.
Thank you.